Round 23 will officially be known as Send-Off Mania after one of the most heinous acts I've ever seen. Ryan Hinchcliffe was sent off from being a trainer for the Melbourne Storm. Honestly, it was pretty much just coming since the 2011 Battle of Brookvale, but one of the most disgusting acts of all time. Ryan Hinchcliffe, see you, buddy. That is so disgusting and you should never be a part of rugby league again. But in all seriousness, we haven't had a sin bin since, round 2, and now we've had them in back-to-back games. Let's just start off with it. Look, to be honest, if you told me before the season started that the Titans Warriors game was going to be better than the Storm Panthers game, I would have laughed at you. But here we are talking about that first. So let's get it out of the way. The send-off on Mo Fotuaika. Now, a lot of people were definitely upset about this call, and I totally understand because, let's face it, it killed the game. The Gold Coast Titans probably put in one of their better performances of the season, probably at least one of their toughest, and I was pretty upset that they didn't walk away with the win despite me tipping the New Zealand Warriors, because I definitely thought they showed a lot, and there are a lot of positives which we can get into in a minute. But they have determined the NRL. This isn't my opinion. This isn't how it should be, in my opinion. And let me say that again, in my opinion. But the NRL have made it clear and have confirmed that injuries and HIAs and concussions and cuts and whatever, as we saw earlier this year with Jordan wrapping his head, getting cracked over like a watermelon. The injury to the player as a result of the foul play comes into consideration. And considering we're not going to see Charnze Nicoll-Klokstad for at least 11 days, which rules him out of next week, and I think he'll be fine for the Manly game in 2 weeks' time, you kind of understand why it's a send-off. Look, when you include it like that, it's definitely more of a send-off than the Nathan Brown one. I think the Nathan Brown one, what got him in trouble was that he jumped up. I still don't think that was a send-off last night. I thought that was a sin bin. A very 100% a sin bin, but a send-off is just so extreme. And if Charnze Nicoll-Klokstad doesn't even go down, there's an argument to be made he doesn't even get 10 in the bin. But you know, that send-off we saw last night in the Manly game, well, last night as I'm recording this, 2 nights ago, for you lucky people, that might just be the new standard. And yeah, Luai jumps into Nelson's head, and that's not even anything. But you know, back against a forward. Forwards are tougher, who really cares about that? So I can understand why Titans fans would be upset and why a lot of people are upset, because yes, it completely killed the game, like I said. But yeah, I mean, the NRL have confirmed it, so it's hard to argue against why it was a send-off. Look, it might have been a sin bin. It could have easily have been a sin bin, and I wouldn't have had a problem with it. If it's up to me, if I'm running the game, it's not a send-off. But the NRL have confirmed that the punishment, if there's an injury resulted because of the foul play, then that comes into the punishment. And the fact is, Charnze Nicoll-Klokstad was out for the game. The Warriors lost a player, one of their key players, and unfortunately the trade-off was Mo Fotuaika on this occasion, and the Titans had to play the game with 12 men. But I thought the Titans were the better team in this game, and you know, maybe the send-off inspired them or whatever, but it is a shame they didn't walk away with the win, because I did think they were a lot better than the New Zealand Warriors. Their back five was simply insane. I've raved about this Warriors forward pack all year, but their back five was incredible. I mean, Jayden Campbell, AJ Brimson just played Origin, and he's had a lot of injury problems. But look, we're going to obviously go with Brimson at the 6 next to Sexton. I don't understand why you can't just move 4 into 7 and have Brimson play 6. Even if you don't get Ben Hunt, have Brimson at 6, Hunt at 7, and have Foran as a 14. Because I don't know how long Foran's got in him at the moment. But despite that, he's probably been the Titans close to their best player this year outside of Big Tino and David Fifita. But Jayden Campbell, his ceiling is up there. I wouldn't say Reece Walsh levels, but I don't think it's far off. There was at one point where I would probably consider back in 2021 when Walshy, you know, he had that fast start in the Warriors and he sort of dropped off a little bit, and Jayden Campbell was absolutely killing it for the Titans when they made that run towards the top 8, that you'd probably sit there and you'd say, yeah, Jayden Campbell's got more potential, and unfortunately he just hasn't been given the opportunity. He has been in games without AJ Brimson, and he's almost their best player. I mean, look, I'd love it to be the case at Manly, because Tommy Turbo cannot catch a break. But as bad as this sounds, and I don't mean it with any disrespect towards AJ Brimson, like I said, I would have picked him for Origin Game 3. But Jayden Campbell's ceiling, if I'm picking out of the two who's going to be there when the Gold Coast Titans can win their maiden premiership in the fullback jersey, I'm going Jayden Campbell, and he was absolutely phenomenal tonight. I can't think of a game where he's played the Titans have won, or even when they lose, like in this situation, and he's not one of the best players on the ground. Khan Pereira was a freak too, just needs to cut out a few more errors, but he's been great this season. I thought Shoop, he was pretty alright too, and Philip Sami, either way, their back five completely ran through this Warriors forward pack, who, the Warriors as a whole, Sean Johnson class, I mean, look, if he doesn't get the Dally M, I will sue whoever's in charge of giving out the judges to those points. I will sue them. But if it wasn't for him, putting him on the Titans with the send-off, and I think the Titans get the job done, massively disappointing for the Warriors. At one point, I was sitting there going, is this really one of the teams that's meant to be the biggest challenge to the Penrith Panthers? And that's a whole situation that we can get into in just a second. But the Warriors, they still got the job done, and that's actually probably maybe a bit of a positive more than I'm lending on. They played awfully. Probably one of their worst games of the season, and they still got the job done. Look, the fact they didn't win 13 plus is disappointing, but it would have been catastrophic if they lost. Not just to a team that had a send-off when you're meant to be one of the big contenders in this competition, but also to a team that, unfortunately, because the Roosters lost, are in the bottom four. But there you go. Good win for the Warriors. Good win. They need... Hopefully they don't drop a few more games, because we kind of need them at least in the top three, because I think if they finish, it looks like it's going to be them in Brisbane for second v third in the first week of finals. We need one of those to stand up, really, because they're going to be the biggest challenge to Penrith. Outside of maybe South, if they can finish top four. But yeah, good win for the Warriors. At the Titans, I'm so upset they can't get at least a point. But hey, we aren't handing you out points for losing rugby league game. And then in the quote-unquote main event, the Penrith Panthers, well, they absolutely, look, I'm not going to say bitch slapped the Melbourne Storm, but it was certainly close. It's like an anaconda. They just wrap their bloody head around you. That's not how a snake works at all. But they just wrap around your head and they suffocate you. Young Tonamapia comes out, scores, 6-2, and we're all thinking, oh, maybe Melbourne are a chance here. And then I didn't see Nelson, I didn't see Harry Grant, I didn't see Cameron Munster, I didn't see Nick Meaney, with the greatest respect. I throw him in there, I'm a nice guy. But the Penrith Panthers are simply operating on a different level. Dan Gennay said it in commentary, I think, or maybe that was just me thinking that he said it. Either way, I'm going to say it. I can't remember, especially if Penrith going to win the three-peat, just a player like Nathan Cleary. I can't remember a guy at club level who has just completely dominated the past 4 years. And then you throw guys like Luai. Luai's got the highest win percentage in the comp. The dude's got near a 90% win rate. They've lost 2 finals games in 4 years. I mean, Rugby League Euro had a great podcast on the Penrith Panthers if you want to check that out. And I don't really want to repeat anything, but we're talking about the Broncos and the Warriors being the 2 challengers to Penrith. And the Broncos haven't won a finals game since 2017. And the Warriors haven't won a finals game since the 2011 prelim final when Sean Johnson was running around in a nappy as a young rookie. That is how long it has been since the Warriors won a finals game. And these are the teams that are meant to be challenging Penrith. And look, I won't lie, maybe Brisbane on their day can do it. I think the Warriors, unless they can get the win week 1 and they're playing Penrith in New Zealand, I think maybe they can pip them there. And then maybe South can beat them. Saying that, though, South have lost to Penrith, and that's been the team they've lost to be knocked out of the comp the last 3 years in a row, including the grand final 2 years ago. They're on a completely different level at the moment, Penrith. It's hard to see who's going to beat them. Their entire side played well. I'm not even going to waste time talking about it because guess what? This poor little ringer has to work on a Saturday, which is basically some criminal mind stuff. So I'll leave it there. Let me know what your thoughts were on the Mo Fotuaika send-off. Let me know what your thoughts were on the Orion Hinchcliffe send-off. Almost forgot his name, hence why I just probably had a moment. Did I have a moment I was recording this, Paddy G? Let me know in the comment section below. And you guys do too. Like the video, subscribe, do all that stuff, and I'll see you in the next one before I say anything more stupid. Friday Night Footy.